we should get though the most serious topic of the competition right now.
Yeah, that would be Richmond, would it not? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go back to Friday night. Now, St Kilda supporters, there was a lot to love about your team on Friday night, and we will get to that in detail. But I think it is the elephant in the room at the moment. Where is Richmond at?
Well, I don't think they can win it from here. I think, I've been hesitant to make that call, but I think now there is a big enough body of work through 14 games to see that they're 5 games off Melbourne for top spot. I think
they can win it or won't?
Can't win it.
Can't win it.
Richmond cannot win it now. There's enough evidence to say that. I think some of their experienced players just aren't impacting. I think there's a blueprint now to stop Dustin Martin, and teams have finally been able to work that out and are putting more time into him with that bigger bodied defensive player that can stop him. I think Trent Cotchin's impact across the midfield has been nowhere near the impact that he has had in previous seasons. And you just can't win it from the top 4, I don't think. And to look now, they're 3 games off outside the top 4. They're 3 games outside that position.
Can I ask Damo in particular, I guess, have the off-field issues caught up with Richmond? Because, we sat here and marvelled last year and this year about how they can overcome adversity off the field and still get the job done. Is there a bit there?
I think there's an element of the cumulative effect of it. They were on the precipice last year at regular occasions, weren't they? Even when they had that barroom incident late in the piece, they were able to actually get through that. They're able to galvanise because of the shorter season, I think, last year. It was only a 17-round home and away season. Games were shorter. They just knew if they got through a certain patch, they could come again. This is a longer season, obviously. I'm not as sold as you, though, Kane, on meeting... I understand that.
Against St Kilda, on a Friday, 2 goals.
Yeah,
Premiership
I get that.
winning teams don't.
But I don't think they need to finish top 4.
goals.
I don't think if there's one club in 2021 that doesn't need to finish top 4 to still have a chance, I'm not going to rule them out for what it's worth until they mathematically cannot make the 8.
My concerns, along with Kane, is this: their form against the top 8 sides across the season, and it's not good. So you look at that losses. The Western Bulldogs was an outstanding performance, but aside from that, they just keep losing to the best. So that you're saying, Damo, they can potentially win it from outside the top 4, but you're going to have to beat all these sides 4 weeks straight, which they haven't been able to do. I'll just say they aren't the manic side that has had them at the top for 4 to 5 years. And I'm not seeing forward pressure. I'm seeing them win games off Shea Bolton brilliance, Jack Revolt brilliance, Dustin Martin brilliance, not the team ethos that won them games over the previous 4 or 5 years.
All right, now Nathan's been standing over there clearing his throat, so you've got something to say, have you?
I have, TJ, and it was a good word that Lordo just used then. They've been manic around the football and pressure, but they've always been good in the defensive end in the air. And there's been a couple of times this year against Melbourne where they were poor in there and gave away goals. They did it again the other night. Let's have a look at some of the Richmond highlights from the other night. Now, normally this ball is just marked by Broad, who I think is probably up there in their best and fairest, but drop that one. And then what that causes is pressure. They get the first goal, and then this is an easy one. This is the manic you're talking about, Lordo. This is an easy takeaway for St Kilda. Normally, that doesn't happen. That's way too easy. So Broad's dropped the first one. Now he's worried. All of a sudden, he should be marking that football. He fists that away, puts pressure on other players. Basher Hooley's become fumbly this year, and then that pressure, they get the ball back, St Kilda. This one in the air. Have a look at this. Richmond in the air always get this ball to ground or get it out of bounds or mark it. There are 7 Richmond players around that, and the smallest player marks it. So these things just don't happen at Richmond. Again, this is just an easy takeaway, playing on Cotchin. He was the best man on the ground, and he gets it in the air. This one again, Richmond, this always comes to ground, but it hits the ground first before anyone gets a hand to it. Lucky kick out the back, but he kicks that goal as well. Another one down the line, and I know that this has been Nathan Broad focused a lot, but he did it the other night. He marks that football. When Richmond are flying, Richmond are confident, he marks that football, goes back the other way. And you can't tell me that Marlon Pickett was trying to defend too well there. And what that does, when you don't defend, when you don't tie the ball up on those outlets on the back flank, this goes end to end and they kick a goal, and they are the first 4 goals of the game I've just shown you. So manic, Lordo used the word. It's a very good word.
Well done, Lordo.
Thanks. Well done, Brandon. Good vision.
Hey, can I ask you this? And I did say to St Kilda supporters, we will look at your win in detail a little later on, but I just want to pinpoint one element of the game, and that was the tall guys. Ryder and Marshall. Yeah,
and Marshall's just so important, isn't he? I think he's almost the most important individual to any side because he does allow Paddy Ryder to have a bit of a rest. We know Ryder doesn't have a massive tank, but Marshall just unconditional effort. And Lord, I know you've spoken about Paddy Ryder's. He's got Nick Nat Nui capabilities in the middle of the ground, and they kick 5 goals out of stoppage, the Saints. They really torch Richmond in that area.
And it takes pressure off King. I know you've been concerned for Max all year, Kane, and you've been probably right with the pressure he's been under the last 5 or 6 weeks. But I think Ryder and Marshall going forward to support King makes a massive difference as well. But just hope Marshall gets some luck with injury because he's an absolute superstar of the game.
They were playing well against Geelong a few weeks back when Marshall went off injured, and that changed the whole game. So they clearly won the ruck battle, those tall guys, the other night.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. I just said you called them tall guys. I was just
well, they are tall guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And I said Ryder and Marshall.